Okay, so I think now we can move to the next question, or the first question of our new session. So here what they have asked, if A's expenditure is 20% more than B's expenditure and B's expenditure is 30% less than C's expenditure, then by what percentage is A's expenditure less than C's expenditure? Okay, so almost the same question that we discussed in the last session's last question. So students, just pause the video and try this question. Okay, now we will be just discussing the solution as well. So here, as we can see, there are three persons A, B, C, and their expenditures are being compared. So like in the last question, how we can start it? Just start from the last part. Try to connect or start with C's expenditure here. Okay. So what you can do is we can just take C's expenditure here as what? 100. Okay. So I am assuming that C's expenditure is 100. Now what does the condition says? B's expenditure is what? 30% less than C's expenditure. Okay. So B's expenditure is 30% less than C's expenditure. So here C's expenditure is 100. 30% less basically is going to give us what? 70. Okay. So then you got that. That hundreds 30% is 30. Okay. So less means you have to reduce that 30 value. Okay. So what you are going to get? You are going to get 70. Okay. Now from A to B, what is the connection? A's expenditure is what? 20% more than B's expenditure. Okay. So B's expenditure is 70. So A's expenditure is 20% more than that of that. Okay. So B's expenditure, as we know, is 70. 20% more means what? What is B's expenditure? That value is 120% is A's expenditure. Okay. If you just calculating that, what you're going to get? You're going to get the value as 84. So we can say that A's expenditure is 84 when B's expenditure is what? 70. Now, what is the final question that they have asked? By what percentage is A's expenditure less than C's expenditure? Okay. Now, they are comparing A and C. So, what was the concept? First, try to find the difference of the two values. So, A and C, their difference is 16. Now, after that, they have told about C's expenditure. So, you have to take C's expenditure in the denominator. So, C's expenditure is what? 100. Okay. And obviously into 100. So, here as well we are getting it directly that A's expenditure is how much percentage less than C? We can say it is 16% less. Okay. So, I hope that you got this last two questions. Okay. Bit similar but an important concept in percentage. Okay. Okay. Now, I think we can move to the next part. Okay. So, this is also a different question, but first we can just go through the question and then start with the solution. So, here what they have told that Shilpa has spent 8% on school fees, then 25% on rent and 17% on furniture. 25% of the remaining amount was spent on medical bills and the remaining 6,000 was set aside for the investment. So, how much money does she spend on rent? That is a question that they have asked. Okay, so how can we start it? So, as we can see, all the conditions are based on the amount that she has spent. Okay, so what we can do is we can assume that she has spent so and so amount. So in this, like we did in the previous questions as well, in case of percentage, it is always better to take the initial value as 100x. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to take assume that her total spendings or the total spend amount is 100x. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to assume that her total spending is what? 100x. Okay. Now, the first point says that she has spent 8% on school fees. So, if her total spending is 100x, 8% is easy. Okay, that is 8x. This she has spent on. This she has spent on what? This she has spent on school fees. Okay. Okay, so this she has spent on school fees. Okay. Okay. Now next 25% on rent. Okay. So that is also easy. If she has spent 100x totally, 25% of that will give us what? 25% is going to give us 25% is 25x. So this is the amount she has spent on what? She has spent on rent. Okay. So this is spent on rent. Now the next point, what does it say? 17% on furniture. Okay. So furniture also 17%. So that is also easier, okay, because she has spent 100x in total, then 17% will be 17x. So that is what she has spent on, what they are told, that is what she has spent on furniture. Okay, so she has spent this much on furniture. Okay, so till this much it is a bit more easy now. The next statement starts with 25% of the remaining amount. So that is an important concept. Of the remaining amount, 25%. So first you have to say total spending is we have taken as 100x. If you are adding these three expenses, that is 8x, 25x and 17x, what are we getting? Just add the three values. So as we can see, 8x plus 17x is going to give us what? 8x plus 17x is going to give us 25x. 25x plus 25x is what? 50. So we have understood that out of 100x, 50x she has spent on these three conditions or these three cases. So the remaining has to be 50x. Okay, so the remaining expense is basically here 50x. Now in that they have told that 25% she has spent on medical bill. So 50x is the value, 75% of that is 25% of that is what? 50x 25% is what? That is 1/4 of a value. So that is going to give us what? 12.5 it seems. Yeah. So out of 50x, 12.5x, as we can say, she has spent on medical bills. Okay. Now then what is remaining here? 37.5x is what is remaining. So they have told in the last part that the remaining they have given it as amount, that is rupees 6,000 was set aside for investment. So what is remaining? That she has set aside for an investment. Okay. So we have got that value as 37.5x and the actual value they have told it as 6,000. Okay. Now we can just compare that both values. So we can say that 37.5x we can write it as 37 1 by 2x as well, that both are same. So we know that this value is basically what? 6,000. Now from this you can find the value of x. So if you are just making it a proper fraction, 37 into 2 plus 1. So 37 into 2 is 74 plus 1 will give us 75. So we can say that 75 by 2x is basically what? 6,000. Okay, what you can do now? Take this 75 by 2 to that side. Okay. So from there we can get the value of x. X is basically what? 6,000 into 2 by 75. Okay. Now if you just cancelling out the values, I'm going to do is cancelling 75 and 6,000 with 15. So 15 5s are 75. If you are cancelling 6,000 by 15, what we are going to get is 400. Then 400 cancellation is going to give us what? 5 8s are is what? 80. 80 into 2 is 160. So we have got that value of x as 160. Now try to connect, or what is the final question that they have asked? How much money does she spend on rent? So what has been assumed? She is spending 25x on rent. We have already got the value of x as 160 here, so you can easily find the final answer. Okay. So in rent, how much she has spent? 25 into 160. Okay. So just multiplying the both values, 25 into 16 is giving us 400. So obviously our answer has to be 4,000. Okay. Okay. So just 4,000 I think. Okay. Otherwise you can just try and multiply and find out as well. 30 12 plus 5, 17 plus 2, 20, 2 plus 2, 4. Okay, right. The answer is correct. 4,000 is the amount she has spent on rent. Okay, so this is also an important question. So here what we saw, we took the total spending as 100x. So that made our life a bit more easier. Okay, so this is also an important concept that you need to remember. Say if they are not giving the total value, you can assume it as 100x and try to connect it based on the conditions given. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question. Okay, so this is also an important question. First, we can just read the question. A man willed 2/7 of his wealth to his wife, okay, 1/3 of the remaining wealth to his son, and the rest was divided equally between the three daughters, okay. If each daughter gets 2/3 of the son's share, okay, and each of the three daughters get 2 lakh rupees, 2 lakh, then what was the man's wealth? That is the question that they have asked. Okay. Now we have two methods to do this. First will be the basic method, that assuming his total will as x and try to connect it based on that. So we are just going to do with using another concept. Another concept is what? They have given the fractions here, they haven't given the percentages here. So if you're just seeing the fractions that they have given, first he have told about 2/7, this is a fraction that they have given. Then they have told about 1/3 he has given to his son. Then rest he has given to his three daughters, and each daughter is getting 2/3 of the son's share. Okay, that is also being told. And they have also told that each daughter is getting 2 lakhs as well. Okay, so what is the thing that you can do? You can just see that the denominator here is 7 and 3. So what you can do, you can take the LCM of the denominators and try to take a multiple as the total value. That will make your life a bit more easier. That calculation part will become a bit more easier. Okay, so that is a thing we are going to do. We are going to take the denominators LCM as the total share or the total wealth of this person. Okay, so 7 and 3, obviously LCM is 21. So we are going to take a value just a bit more bigger. So what we are going to do, we are going to assume here this total share as 210x. Okay, so that man's wealth, we are assuming it as 210x. Okay, I hope that you got the point. What we did here, we took the remainder part. So the denominator part here is 7, here is 3. So as we told, take the LCM of the numbers and take a multiple which is the the value connecting to the denominator. So 21, I just made it into 10. So we can assume that his total wealth, we are assuming it as 210x. Okay. Now what all conditions they have given? He has given 2/7 of his wealth to his wife. So what is 2/7 of 210x? That we can, if you're just doing it, 2/7 of 210x is going to give us 60x. Okay. So he has given, we can say that 60x. Okay. So he has given 60x to his wife. Okay, so now what is remaining? 210x, 60x is gone. Now the remaining part is what? Difference of this. So difference of 210x and 60x is going to give us what? 150x. Okay. Now in 150x, what he has done? 1/3 of the remaining he has given to his son. Okay. Now 1/3 of 150x is what? 50x. So out of 150x, he has given 50x to his son. Okay. Now what is the next point? And rest was divided equally between the three daughters. Now what is the thing that is left now? So out of 150x, 50x is gone. So what is remaining now? 100x is what is remaining. Okay. Now in this 100x, it is being equally divided between the three daughters. So every daughter is going to get 100x by 3. Okay, so that is also a point that we have understood. Now, what they have told, okay. Now they have given a condition that each daughter gets 2/3 of the son's share. So each daughter is getting the share that is what is 2/3 of the son's share, and each of the three daughters get rupees 2 lakh. That is also being given. Okay, so every daughter is getting 2 lakh, and they have compared with son's share as well. Okay, from that we have to find what is the man's wealth. Okay, so this is the easier part. Now we know, we have assumed the daughters, each daughter share as 300x by 3. So we know that value they have given it as 2 lakh. So 100x by 3 they have given it as 2 lakh. Okay, so 2 lakh as we know is 2 into, yeah, 2 into, we can just write it as 2 into 10 raised to 5. Okay. Okay, now if you're just solving to find the value of x, so x will be here what? X will be 2 into 10 raised to 5 into 3 divided by 100. Okay. We can so cancel two zeros, so this will make it 10 raised to 3. Okay. Now 10 raised to 3 is as we know is 1000. So 1000 into 6. So that is the value of x is basically here what? 6000. Okay, so we have got the value of x as 6000. Now what is the final question that they have asked? Okay, so they have just asked the man's wealth. So do we need to connect this condition if each daughter gets 2/3 of son's share? So that is not necessary here, because we have got the value of x. We need to find man's wealth. We have assumed it as 210x. So that point is not relevant here. You can directly connect the value. Okay. So the final answer has to be what? 210 into 6000. Okay. So that is what? 21 into 6 is, as we know, is 126. Then how many zeros are there? 126 into 10 raised to 4. We have 4 zeros. So this base technically means what? The answer is basically 12.6 lakhs. Okay. So which option marks our answer here? 12.6. Okay, 12.6 lakhs. Okay. Okay. So answer here is what? 12.6 lakhs. Okay. So here the main point was that what is the question being asked? They had just asked man's wealth. So we had got from that daughter's condition, we got the value of x there. Now from there you can directly connect the final answer without using this condition that was given. Okay, relating to daughter and son's share. Okay, so that is an important question, and the first part, that is a crucial part. We took the man's wealth as 200x. I hope that you got the clarity regarding why we took it as 200x. What was the concept? We had to take his total shares 2/7 and 1/3. So what we did, we took the LCM of the denominator. So 7 and 3 gives us 21. We took a higher value and a multiple of 21, that is 210x as the total wealth. So that make the calculation a bit more easier. Okay. Now I think we can move to the next question. Okay. Okay. The next question says that about Vishal decided to donate 12% of his salary. Okay. On the day of donation, he changed his mind and donated 4,200, which was 70% of what he had decided to donate earlier. So his monthly salary that we need to find out. Okay. So this question as well, we can do it in multiple ways. So obviously, how we can start? We can assume his monthly salary as say x, or any other variable. Okay, I'm assuming his salary as x, monthly salary. Now, what was the first condition? He had decided to donate how much? 12% of his salary. Okay, so we have assumed his salary as x. So 12% of that is what, basically 12x into 12 by 100. So this is what he had decided, but at final what he gave only 70% of what he had decided to donate earlier. So what he had decided x into 12 by 100, but he only gave 70% of that. 70% of that we can directly write into 70 by 100. So that value they have given us how much? Yeah, it is 4,200. Okay. Now just calculate. Just need to find his monthly salary. So you can just cancel out the common terms here. Okay. Now take these values to that side. So will become 4,200 into 12 by 100 becomes 100 by 12. 7 by 10 becomes 10 by 7. Okay. Now just cancel out the terms. Okay. 7 6 are is 42. So 600. 600 by 12 is going to give us what? 50. Okay, so the value of x is how much here? 50,000. So we have got his monthly salary and it is 50,000, option B here. Okay, so I hope this is also clear. The concept is okay, I think. So we can now, I think, move to the next question. Okay. Now here they have given a total amount of 1560 and they are told that it is being divided among A, B, C such that A gets 50% of what B gets and B gets 20% of what C gets. Okay. And they have told how much will B get. So we have to find the amount out of 1560 that B gets. Okay. So this question as well we can do it in multiple ways. If we are just comparing the condition, they have told that. Okay, so this concept as well we can do in that fashion. How we can assume that, say, if C is getting so and so amount, you can just compare that and try to find the answer. Okay, so say I am assuming that C is going to get, say, 100x amount. So what does the condition says? B to C, what is the condition? B gets 20% of what C gets. Okay, so 20% of 100x is what? So it is basically 20. Okay, now A to B, what is the connection? A gets 50% of what B gets. So 50% as we know is half. So B is getting 20x. Half of 20x is what? 10x. Okay, so I hope that you got the connection. Now they have given the total amount. So we can assume that the sum of these three values have to give us what? 1560. Okay, just comparing the values. If you are adding these three values, 130x gives us 1560. Just cancelling out the terms, 156 by 13 is going to give us what? 12. Okay, so the value of x is 12 here. Now what is being asked in the final question? How much will B get? So B we have assumed he is going to get 20x. So 20 into 12. Okay, is going to give us what? 240. Okay, so 240 is the amount that B gets here. Okay, so simple question. We just started with a point. What we did, we started with C. We assumed the amount that C is going to get as 100x, and then connected the two conditions based on that. Okay, so easy question, but an important question as well. I hope that you got the question as well. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question. Okay. Okay. So bit more similar question. Okay. Here what they have told that Rahul's salary is 40% more than Mohit's salary. If Rahul's salary is increased by 60% and Mohit's salary is decreased by 20%, then Rahul's salary will be how much percentage of Mohit's salary? So first they have given a condition. So first we can just take that. That is Rahul and Mohit are there. So first they have compared their salaries. What was the first condition? Rahul's salary is 40% more than Mohit's salary. So what we can take, we assume that their initial salaries. So we can assume that Mohit's salary, say we are taking it as 100. So what is the condition? Rahul's salary is what? 40% more than Mohit. So 40% of 100 is what? 40. More means you have to add that value. So we can assume if Mohit's salary initially was 100, Rahul's was 140. Now what is the condition? We have to increase Rahul's salary by 60%. So increasing this Rahul salary by 60%, we can say that his initial salary is 160% has to be his new salary. Okay, so we're just cancelling out the terms. We are left with 14 into 16. Just multiply the terms. What you are going to get? 24, 10, 12, and 2. Okay, 224 is what you are getting. Okay, now in case of Mohit, his salary has decreased by 20. So that is easy. Mohit's salary was 100. 20% dip will give us his new salary as what? 80. Now, what is the final question? Then Rahul's salary. This is salary. So Rahul's salary will be how much percentage of Mohit's salary? So they have compared Rahul's salary with respect to Mohit. So Rahul's salary is 224. We are going to compare that salary with respect to Mohit. So place his salary in the denominator part into 100. Okay. Now just solve the values. If you just seeing 20 is common in 180. So cancelling it out, here 5 times, 4 times. 224 by 4 gives us 4 5s are is 20, 4 6 are is 24. Okay. 56 into 5 is giving us what? 56 into 5 is giving us 280. Okay, so we can say when we are comparing it, we are getting the answer as how much percentage? Option A, that is 280%. Okay. So I hope that you got the solution. This is also an important question. Simple. The concept was easy as we discussed in the previous questions. Just comparing the values. If they are not giving the original values, the concept is that you just assume a value and just try to connect it based on the condition. Okay. Okay. So I think we have ending our session based on percentages. So I hope that you got the base of the topic percentage. Okay. Now in the next session we will be moving to ratios and trying to discuss the main or the basic concepts of ratios that will help us in the upcoming questions as well. Okay. So we are winding up the session. Thank you, and we will be in the next session we will be going to discuss related to the topic of ratio. Okay.